Hey everyone, welcome to the Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about you're hungry because you're malnourished, most likely. If you're hungry all the time, how can this be, right? It can't be because you're not getting enough calories, right? If you're overweight, you're getting enough calories. So why do you always feel hungry? It's because most likely the calories you're getting are from processed or ultra processed foods that do not have the micronutrients in it that your body needs and craves. And so when your body doesn't get what it needs, it sends you a signal to eat more because it thinks you're in the natural environment where eating more means more nutrients. What it doesn't really know is that we can eat a lot of calories with not the nutrients that we need. So if you want to lose weight, one of the most important things you can do is to start putting more nutrients into your body. So ironically, a lot of times weight loss successfully comes down to putting more things into your mouth, not less. So if you just try and cut calories down, but it's the same calories you've been eating, it's not going to help you because now you're going to feel twice as hungry. So this is one of the key secrets of mastering your weight for good is to start nourishing your body with higher quality foods, because then what happens is you start to satisfy yourself on a much deeper level. Understand that the processed food companies have taken the satiety out of the food, primarily fiber and other micronutrients, so that you're always hungry and always want to eat that stuff. As soon as you start putting high quality fuel and nutrition into your body, you start to satisfy yourself on a deep level, then you start to feel more satiated. Once you feel more satiated, you tend to eat less food. This is what the weight loss medicines prove to us. This is what Ozempic and the GLP-1 hormone medicines prove to us. Once you feel more satiated, and again, GLP-1 hormone is something your body naturally creates when you eat healthier foods, specifically fiber, high quality proteins, high nutrient dense foods. And so once you start putting these foods into your body, you tend to create more GLP-1 hormone naturally. You feel less hungry, you eat less, you lose weight. So take this to heart, because this is one of those things that so many people just overlook, and they're just trying to eat the same foods, but just less of them. And again, that doubles the hunger. If you start nourishing yourself, I think you're going to be shocked at how much easier it is to eat in a way that brings you towards your weight loss goals. So I hope this helps you out. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. What's up, Nora? I see you. Nora says, hi, I haven't been active in the chat, but I'm still here. All right. Nice to know you're there. You can always just give me a hi. I always like to know you're there. And then that's fine. You know, some days we got questions. Sometimes we got time and focus, and sometimes we don't. That's okay, too. What's up, Mario? How's it going? I didn't miss anything. Keep telling you guys, TikTok changed their whole algorithm, so they just put lots of stuff up there. It's annoying. So anyways, here we are. There's Ronnie. Update. I redefined my pleasure day as wanting to feel at my best mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and socially. This is what changed yesterday compared to other weeks. I visited a new neighborhood in the city that I live in. I went on a lunch date by myself. I walked around a new hiking trail. I went to the beach where I did yoga. I read my book. I went to a new shop. Well, there you go. Now that's a pleasure day, right? Now, again, I want to make clear pleasure days as well. And I don't want to get too deep in this, as I said yesterday, for those reasons. But part of it is interfacing with foods that are fun, that are pleasurable, that taste good, that you enjoy eating. So that's part of the process. It's not just having a pleasure day where we do lots of fun stuff and still eat perfectly. Okay. It's also about starting to interface with some of the foods, the ice cream, the cookies, the pizza, whatever it is that you like. What's your favorite food in the world to eat? Right? It starts there, and it says, okay, how can I interface and eat some of those foods sometimes and stay in control? That's part of it. You've got to figure that out. I swear that is so important. And because dieters are all or nothing, you know, they can go in their all mode and completely cut those foods out for a little while. But then as soon as they're kind of around them, or as soon as they have a bite of one of them, they're completely, you know, off track. So what we're looking to do partly with these clean pleasure days is with the pleasure days, we're looking to practice being able to eat the foods that we really like to eat in a more moderated way. So that is another really important piece of this, because if we just do the all or nothing, oh, I'm not going to eat any of that stuff, you're just setting yourself up for long-term value. I mean, they literally got a name for it. Is this not what's happened to you all? Have you not been doing great on your diet? Everything's going great. And then I ate a little bit and then I was totally blew it. I mean, that is the story over and over and over again. They literally have a name for it. It's called the what the hell effect. It's specific to dieters. Dieting is a very unique mindset. It's not natural. It's completely fucking unnatural. And it's been programmed into all of us by the diet industry. Probably one of the most effective psychological operations in history is the diet mindset. It's bullshit. And so anyways, enough's enough. But good job, Ronnie. Again, I like all the other stuff. I like the pleasure piece. But again, a big part of the pleasure days, at least in the program wise, is learning how to eat the foods that you like to eat. So, Jim, no, you know what? I like healthy food. I just like healthy food. I don't really like that processed food's kind of gross. I don't even like it. Bullshit, bullshit. That's not going to last. It's not going to work. At some point, you're going to want to eat something you like to eat. I don't know, ice cream, cookies, pizza, chips, whatever it may be. You're going to eat it at some point. I fucking promise you. And if you were, all of a sudden, okay, I can lose weight as long as I don't eat those things. And then you go and eat one of them and now you eat all of them. And now you're totally off track. So we got to deal with that in some way. And that really is one of the core reasons why we practice the clean pleasure days. Ronnie says, I was walking a lot, which is my strategy to get back on track. I woke up and feel a lot better and revitalized. I only gained 2 pounds instead of 10 pounds and was at my therapy appointment today. This was instead of shaming myself and hiding in my room all day, marinating in my thoughts and not feeling a part of my world. I ate a cheesecake, oatmeal cookie dessert, and vegan mac and cheese. Noticed my body didn't agree with it the best, but still got myself back on track and felt fine. Well, great job, Ronnie. I would give you 2 thumbs up. Super, super job. So I'm happy. That's a wonderful way to approach the pleasure day. Because now the flip side, right, is that the pleasure day isn't just the food. The pleasure day, ideally, if you can make it a more pleasurable day, that's just another bonus on top of it all. So, yeah, I think great job, Ronnie. I'm really proud of you. And it's a process. This other piece I want to put in there. I know I say this all day long, every day, that knowing what to do, understanding why we should do whatever, and having all the reasons why is one thing. Being able to do it something completely different. And I know I usually use the piano as an example, but you could read 5 books on playing the piano, and that doesn't mean shit, right? The only thing that matters is you get down at the keys and you start practicing it into your nervous system. So you all have to understand that knowing what to do and being able to do it are 2 totally different things. And so, Ronnie, you got to understand that this is a process. It's a path. And a lot of times it's the fucking up that really allows us to learn and grow more than when we do well. So again, Ronnie, you want to, again, it's a process. And so you're doing it beautifully. I know you're impatient probably, and you want faster and faster results. You just want it to fix, but that's not the way it goes. So everything you're telling me that you're doing is right on the path. It sounds great. And again, that's why we have to have patience with this process. You've got to have patience with your weight loss process. And if you don't, you're fucked. You're never going to work. Why? Because you know what it's like? It's like you didn't take good care of your teeth. And now you're like, I just want to get it clean. I'm going to clean them. I'm going to clean them all day long. I'm going to clean them all this whole week. I'm going to clean my teeth. It don't matter. You can clean the shit out of them. You can clean them all day long, every day for 2 weeks. It doesn't matter. You have to clean them every day forever. Well, I don't want to. I just want to clean them now. And I want to do it. Well, tough shit. You've got to clean them every day. That's what you got to do. If you want to take care of your teeth, you've got to turn into a habit. You've got to do it every day for the rest of your life, right? And that's not how you're approaching weight loss. Weight loss, you're trying to do all at once with the idea that once you get there, then what? And that is the magical mystery spot of most dieters' brains. When you illuminate it, you realize, there's nothing there. What do you do when you get to your goal weight? I don't know. I have no plan. I told myself I was going to figure it out, but oh shit, I was just putting it off. I have no idea what to do to live at my goal weight, So again, it starts though by having the understanding this is a forever process. Oh, forever. I'm going to have to, well, tough shit. If you want to live at your weight, it's got to be forever. Of course. Anyways, Julie says, I ate hard candy and I think it triggered me to eat corn chips. Yeah, sure. Things trigger us all over the place, and there does not have to be any logical relationship between the 2. Understand that, okay? We are not logical creatures, folks. We are primarily irrational creatures. This is what makes dieting so frustrating, because logically everything that you should do, why you want to do it. You try to get yourself to do it, and then you don't do it, right? Isn't that the core of your weight loss problem, that you know what you should do and then you don't do it? Doesn't make any sense, does it? Yeah, because you ain't a fucking logical person. You're irrational, just like the rest of us. And so we have to learn how to manage the irrationality. We use logic and rational stuff, but we don't rely on it because you're not logical and rational. If you are, why are you overweight? Because I don't want to eat ice cream, then you fucking eat it. Why? I don't know. I'm addicted. I'm a sugar addict. Can't control myself. I'm an overeater. You got no real explanation for why. It comes down to Pavlov's dogs. If you don't know about Pavlov's dogs, which we all kind of do, that's probably, in my opinion, the most important psychological experiment in the history of humankind, because it really reveals how we operate primarily. We operate through associations that we accumulate throughout our lives, and they're irrational. The fact that a dog salivates when I hear a bell makes no fucking sense, but I could do the exact same thing to you. If I put you in a lab and I do the old Pavlov's experiment with you, guess what you're going to do very quickly? I let you get hungry and I start bringing your favorite food to you while I ring a bell and you start salivating. It wouldn't take me long. And I could tell you, say, listen, you ready to start salivating? Get ready. I'm going to ring the bell. You ready to start salivating? You say, no, that's stupid. Why would I salivate? You're ringing a bell. It doesn't make any sense. I'll ring the bell and go, how do you explain it? Doesn't make any sense, but it's real. You see? And this, I think, is the starting point of really starting to understand who you are. You're not a logical, rational person. So keep studying your fucking diets. Keep studying all your, plans, your perfect meal plans, your perfect exercise plans, your perfect strategies on paper that you're going to follow to lose weight. And then keep planning to do that and then not sticking with it. And spend the next 100 years trying to do that, or start to realize how you actually operate as a human being and start working with how you actually operate, which is irrationally. So anyways, yeah. Why does, chewing a hard candy all of a sudden trigger us to eat corn chips? Who the hell knows? And who cares? We just want to recognize the relationship and then, avoid hard candies if we're trying to eat well and not eat corn chips that day. That's going to serve you a lot better because it don't make much sense, but we don't make much sense. So I said, I baked some brownies and I keep thinking about them sitting in the fridge. Absolutely. Yes, folks. I was going to make a video on this because one of the key points of success in your life, and this really speaks to what I call the preventative approach. What a lot of dieters do is they're really looking to rely on willpower. So subconsciously, you're looking for your weight loss plan to be as hard as it can be. You really are, because you associate the harder it is, the faster I'll lose weight. But this approach really is set up for long-term failure. And what we want to start doing is preventing issues. So when you go shopping is really one of the key decision points in your life to get yourself on a better path, because the better shopping trip you have, meaning that the healthier food you get on the shopping trip, the less unhealthy food you get, that alone does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Because once you're in your house and you've got healthier stuff and less unhealthy stuff, you're a lot less likely to eat the unhealthy stuff because now it's not there. Now you may go out and get some in a fit of craving. That's okay. But you will statistically reduce how much unhealthy food you'll eat based on what you do when you go shopping. And so making brownies, making cookies, when you start baking stuff and leaving it in your house, when you go to the store and buy a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, put in the thing, you're going to eat it because you're subconsciously going to start looping and imagining and thinking about that food, and it's going to drive you to eat it. And in that situation, what you're relying on is a lot of willpower to stop yourself from giving into the craving. As opposed to preventing it and not bringing that shit in your house in the first place, which does a lot of heavy lifting. So again, Zoya, obviously, you use this as an opportunity to clarify, when I put these things into my house, I get obsessed with them. And so the solution is not to have some magical willpower where you don't eat them. It's to start to remove those things, keep those things out of your house, out of your environment, a majority of the time. Again, there's a right time, sometimes, holidays, certain situations, make the brownies and fucking eat them. But majority of the time, if your weight matters to you and your health matters to you, that's not something you'd want to do. Let me see here, TikTok. If I don't have some questions, I gotta scroll to get to the top. Come on, TikTok. Make it easier. What's up, KT? How's it going? Myra says, my mom's birthday is tomorrow, and I'm trying to imagine myself not overeating at the restaurant. Okay, Mario, if you were in the program, you would know to imagine yourself not overeating is pretty much the same as imagining yourself overeating, because our subconscious minds do not understand negatives. If I tell you folks to gather your willpower and not think about what I'm about to tell you, get ready. I want you to not think about what I'm about to say. You ready? Okay. Don't think about a yellow banana. Don't think about a banana. Stop it. Cut it out. Don't do it. Quit it. Right? What are you thinking about? A big old yellow banana, right? So Mario's here thinking, okay, I'm going to go to a birthday party. I'm not going to overeat. I'm not going to overeat. I'm not going to overeat. Well, what are you thinking about? You overeating, right? So your mind just eating everything. Oh, I feel like shit. Why did I do that? Oh, I'm overeating. Okay. So again, this is a core foundational principle of programming yourself thin is we need to focus ourselves on what we want to do. So what do you want to do? You want to not overeat, or would you like to eat just the right amount? Would you like to go in there comfortably, order what you like to eat just the right amount of it, walk out of there feeling amazing physically, mentally, and emotionally because of how you ate? So which one do you want to focus on, folks? Do you want to focus on that, or you want to focus on, I hope I don't overeat. Oh shit, I don't want to overeat. I don't want to binge on all the bread. I don't want to eat all the bread. I don't want to eat all the appetizers. I don't want to stuff myself to dinner and then order dessert, right? Because everything I just said, you had to imagine in your mind. And when you imagine things in your mind, you activate neural networks that make you kind of experience it. And it doesn't guarantee it, but it certainly tees you up to do exactly that thing tomorrow. And this is what you all do constantly. You're constantly thinking about what you don't want to do. I hope I don't eat the ice cream tonight. I'm not going to eat ice cream tonight. I'm going to do good. I'm not going to eat sugar today, right? And you're obsessed. This is dieting in a nutshell. Dieting is a big crock of shit put there by the big food companies. All the diets that you follow, they're all owned by big food companies. Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products is owned by the same company that owns Onions, Pretzels, and Cinnabon. Slim Fast is owned by the same company that owns fucking Ben & Jerry's. These companies have embedded in your mind this diet philosophy, which is a crock of shit. And one of the core things the diet philosophy does is it gets you absolutely fixated on the foods that you're trying to eat less of. That's exactly the type of thing a food company would want to do, right? So every time you go on a diet, right? Every time you go on keto, is there any better way to crave carbs than to start a keto diet? Is there any better way to want to, eat 16 hours a day than to start intermittent fasting? You know what I mean? It's like it literally, you're focused. I go, okay, I gotta stop eating ice cream. Now I'm not gonna eat pizza tonight. I'm not gonna eat potato chips, right? And then you're developing the cravings from them. So the more you start focusing on what you want to do, what you want to eat, how you want to feel, how you want to look like, who you want to be, you start developing those neural networks. So hope that makes sense, Mario. What's up, Jim? How's it going? Do you have a brother? I think I heard you saying that. I do have a brother. Yes. Get here. Getting a lot of. Takes a while for TikTok to get to the questions. You gotta scroll through everything. What's up, Angie? Angie says I'm starting to heart wanted chocolate. Choose a protein bar with dark chocolate. So empowered. I'm starting to love wanted. Maybe you're saying I'm starting to love dark chocolate. Chose a protein bar with chocolate. Hey, listen, that's great. One thing I'll tell you, protein bars aren't that great though. Again, everything's a spectrum, right? So if you used to eat candy bars, a protein bar is usually better. But protein bars are one of the sneakiest things that people think are healthy. And again, they're healthier than candy bars and ice cream sundaes. But compared to fruit and vegetables, they're a lot less healthy. And that's one of the tricky things, because if you think you're eating a protein bar, doing something healthy, what you're actually doing is you're really just priming up your hunger and cravings for sweets and processed food most of the time. But great job switching it over, because again, everything's gradual improvement. So going from maybe, and I think that's what you're saying, but maybe going from milk chocolate to dark chocolate, that could be an improvement with a protein bar. So again, I'm honoring the fact that you're making improvements, but I'm simultaneously letting you know that sometimes we think protein bars are healthy and a lot of times they're not. Okay. And so the worst thing we can do with the weight loss thing is to think we're doing everything right and then it doesn't work, because then we start saying, what's wrong with me? I'm broken. No matter what I do, I can't lose the weight. That's never the case. All right. But good job making a change and moving towards a healthier option. And of course, Jim says, I love protein bars so much. Less sugar and amazing taste. Again, it's a processed taste. It gets you calibrated to crave and desire more processed flavors. And so again, I'm not picking on anyone with the protein bars, but I regularly am enlightening people to the point that a protein bar, while better than other things like candy bars and ice cream sundaes, is not, I would not consider it a health food personally. Now, what am I comparing that to? Fruits and vegetables. So again, everything's relative and it depends where you want to be at it. But I've met so many people that rely on the protein bars and are wondering why they can't stop the cravings when they hit. And a big part of it is because you're eating protein bars that are processed bullshit. They're healthier than other things, but they're still processed with flavorings that cause you to trigger more processed food. And they do not typically satisfy you. They don't satisfy you as much as whole natural foods do. So don't hate me with this. I just got to be honest though with it. Angie says, kind bars too. Do you like those? No, I don't like kind bars. I mean, again, in a pinch, I'm eating a kind bar. Okay. If I'm on a road trip and I'm pulling a convenience store and they got kind bars, oh, thank God, right? Because it's better. But I don't want, let's look at the ingredients of a kind bar and I'll tell you why. Because I make rules for myself and then they go out of my head. But I will tell you, if I look at a kind bar, what bothers me about it? Let's find out. Now, the first thing I'm going to say, and this is me just in general. So right off the bat, I'm skeptical of a kind bar, even though, again, a kind bar is better than a lot of other protein bars. So everything's on a spectrum. I can't stress that enough. But right off the bat, kind bar, they're really healthy for you. I don't think so. Why? Because it comes in a package. It was processed by a bullshit company, most likely. Maybe not. Let's look at the ingredients. So the ingredients in order of content in the bar, right? Starts with almonds. Hey, all right. Almonds are good. Almonds are good, right? Peanuts, okay. Chicory root fiber, okay. I don't know what that means, but okay. Okay, so we're 4 ingredients in. Now we get to the honey. Honey sugar, okay. Palm kernel oil, okay. Don't really want that. So that's number 5. Number 6 is sugar. Number 7 is glucose syrup. Right. So what you want to know is that these food companies have 61 at the moment different names for sugar, because if they put the honey, palm kernel oil, not the palm kernel oil so much, the honey, sugar, glucose syrup, we'll just go with those. And if so 1, 2, 3, honey's 4, sugar's 6, glucose syrup is 7. If we put the honey, sugar, and glucose syrup together, we would, and just called it sugar would probably jump up to 1, 2, 3. I would almost guarantee it would become a top 3 ingredient. Okay. And so this is what I mean. So we're talking about almonds, peanuts, chicory root. Well, that sounds good. And that's what most people do. They read the first couple ingredients if they ever read anything. And now let's look at the label. The total added sugar is 5 grams. That's not bad. Again, that's not the worst thing. So again, it's better than a lot of other things, but I don't want to I like honey, but I'll have honey raw and unfiltered, natural if I'm going to eat it. I don't want palm kernel oil in my body. I don't want to put sugar in my body. I don't want glucose syrup. I don't want rice flour. That's basically sugar because it's converted so quickly into blood sugar. Unsweetened chocolate, that's okay. Alkalized cocoa, maybe. Sea salt, okay. Soy lecithin, natural flavors, cool, right? So again, not the worst thing, but I don't want those things in my body. Those are going to make me hungry. I'm going to be hungry if I eat that stuff. I'm going to crave sweeter stuff, and I'm going to crave more kind bars. I'm going to crave more processed food. Maybe you're not like that. I am. So I would avoid it. So again, I'm not saying they're bad compared to candy bars, ice creams, and other protein bars even. I think kind bars are one of the better ones. But compared to an apple, compared to a banana, compared to a fruit or a vegetable, I think it loses by 100 miles. So that's how I think of food. And so again, this is why I try to tell you guys, my mindset does the heavy lifting of my weight mastery. I'm not a willpower machine. I'm a knowledge machine because I've developed the understanding of what it is. There's a lot of trickery with food. And I hope I revealed a little bit of that with you, kind bar. And you might be saying, Jim, that sounds great to me. That sounds really healthy. That just reveals there's layers to this shit. It's not that healthy. It's not that healthy. It's not. Okay. Is it healthier than a sugar candy bar? Absolutely. Is it healthier than a piece of fruit? Absolutely not. So what do you want? What can I tell you? Moses said, hey, would you say it's good to eat lunch and no breakfast? I would say it's not good for most people to eat lunch and not breakfast, because I would think that's the most common diet mistake, I think. Now, that being said, I regularly reference back to the weight registry study, which is a database of, I think it's over 35,000 people at this point, people that have lost a significant amount of weight. I think it's over 20 pounds for at least 2 years. And they survey them to say, well, what do you do? And one of the questions they ask is, do you eat breakfast? And I believe it's 80% of people ate breakfast that have mastered their weight. but that also means 20% have not. So the first thing I want to preface this by saying is that there's no right or wrong. There's only what works for you. That being said, the biggest strategical mistake I see with weight loss is dieters trying to skip breakfast, skip lunch, so they can cut calories down. And what I find with that strategy is they skip breakfast, they skip lunch, and then afternoon and nighttime, they're overeating and way overeating what they would have calorically if they just eaten a nutritious breakfast and lunch. So I would say to you first, Moses, there's no right or wrong, there's only what works for you. So experiment with it. But I would say best practices is to eat breakfast, because if you can eat breakfast, to me, you start every day with the highest level of willpower and the lowest level of hunger typically. So breakfast is a wonderful time to create an optimized meal for yourself, because you don't really give a shit usually. Usually breakfast is the easiest meal to optimize because you don't care as much about it. And so that to me makes it the perfect meal to really pack as much nourishment and nutrients into it as possible. So I would much rather have a really nourishing, healthy breakfast than skip it and get real hungry and try and eat well at lunch and the rest of it. Because me personally, once I'm really hungry, that shit lasts. So when I like don't eat and I get really hungry, then I eat a bunch of food, I don't feel satisfied. I feel still fucking hungry, and I can just keep on eating. So what I have done is I manage my hunger. For within an hour of waking up, I'm managing my hunger. So it's at a comfortable level, and I'm managing that comfortable level of hunger all day long. So I'm never that hungry. When you're never that hungry, it's pretty easy to eat better. Folks, this is why the weight loss injections work. That's all they're doing. It increases your GLP-1 hormone that makes you feel more satisfied. Okay? So it's managing your hunger to some degree, artificially, but it's managing your hunger. When you manage your hunger, it is way easier to make better food choices. And I think it's a bad strategy for most people to skip breakfast because they get themselves really hungry. And by the time lunch comes and they try and skip that too, now they get real hungry and now the eating's off the charts. But that being said, people are different. So Judy said on Ozempic and oh, I see what you're saying. Judy says on Ozempic and Weight Watchers GLP-1 for 8 weeks only lost 2 pounds. What is up? That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I wouldn't judge it too much yet. I mean, I think let me give you the saying. I say this all the time, is that weight loss, regardless, weight loss is inconsistent and unpredictable in the short term. And so 8 weeks is not necessarily that short. So that's not too great. But the Ozempic stuff's kind of new, so we don't really know. But I mean, I'm sure it affects people differently. So I couldn't answer that with having more specifics, understanding of what your specific situation is, Judy. But I would say that from what I've heard is an outlier experience, but so I don't know. I would need to know specifically, like have kind of like a conversation with you to try to dig into that. But I will tell you at the end of the day, the reason you're not losing more weight after 8 weeks is you're consuming more calories than you think you are, or you're not reducing your calories enough. And that's the simple answer is you have not reduced your calories enough to lose that weight, most likely, because 8 weeks is something. So again, though, who knows, metabolically, you might be in a situation where you're losing weight really slowly. So again, I feel I don't have enough information to really speak on that much more, but I would say that is an outlier thing from what I've heard. And I've talked to a lot of people on the medicines. So, but I'd say give it another month or two, I suppose, talk to your doctor. What's up, Joy? Oh, look at that. Kind is owned by Mars Incorporated. So I don't know. You want to trust, you know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden if Marlboro starts making protein bars or, you know what I mean? Like a cigarette company, which all the food companies are cigarette companies, by the way. Do you know that? Do you know, was it RJR Reynolds and Nabisco are literally merged together as the same company? They're the same company. The parent company of Kraft and General Foods is Philip Morris. So, all of these packaged foods, most of them are really food cigarettes. Take with that what you will. Roberta says, hi, Jim. Slightly less bad Kind bars are Kind Zero, no added sugar. Yeah, great. And I get that, right? And I appreciate you saying the slightly less bad. Because again, I just think it's it sets us up for failure. And again, I think there's a time and a place for a kind bar. As I said, I think there's certain situations where I will rely on it. So if I'm traveling, if I'm out of my normal environment, I would use that. It's a better option than a lot of other things in the convenience store, So again, I'm not some rigid person. I think you need to be flexible to master your weight. But it's good hearing that. So yeah, if I knew that, I'd pick the kind zero. But let me see something. Let me look this up because I will tell you again, I'm trying to point, it's the mindset that's doing the work. I hear kind zero and little alarm bells are going off. And let's find out. Let's find out. Zero bars. Let's see what we got. Oh. Okay, hold on. Let's just find out. I just want to find the ingredients because no sugar sounds good on first pass, right? Let me just find out. Come on. They're keto friendly. Okay. Where's the ingredients? Come on, you. Wow. Why is it so hard to find the ingredients for a kind zero bar for me? I just want to see. I'm searching kind zero bars ingredients and I can't find it. I don't know why. Let me try. Maybe Amazon will put the thing in there. Oh, there we go. My bad. Okay. So the ingredients for a kind zero bar: almonds, peanuts, allulose, number 3, tapioca fiber, number 4, palm kernel oil, brown rice, chicory root fiber, alkalized cocoa, unsweetened chocolate, sea salt, peanut butter. Natural flavors, soy, lecithin. Again, I not interested. Again, in a pinch, absolutely. I'm grabbing them. As a part of my normal routine, no way. I'm not putting allulose in my body. I'm not putting tapioca fiber. I don't want palm kernel oil. I don't want brown rice. Not interested. Again, they're better than other things, but for me personally, it's not something I want to build my nutrition around. So, again, maybe you might not be where I'm at. So take it or leave it, but I appreciate you saying that. And I agree. They're probably even better. I would take the zero bar over the other one. So again, it's always that spectrum thing, going on. Ronnie says, I work 6 days next week. I only have off on Tuesday, which is usually my meal prep, get my shit together day. Should I skip my pleasure day or try to do both? Thoughts? I would do both. I mean, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I serve and bartend at a restaurant, so I always want to make sure I have my meals set for when I go to work and go home. Yeah, that's great, Ronnie. I love your dedication too, by the way. I just want to make that clear. And I love your foresight on all this stuff. Me personally, I never skip pleasure days. The second I skip a pleasure day, I start craving these foods all the time. So I find having the pleasure days are crucial. Even if, like this week, for example, my clean days aren't as clean as they normally are. My pleasure days will probably be a little more egregious than they normally are too. Oh, thanks, Angie. That one's cool. All the fruits, dancing fruits. I love that on TikTok. So me personally, my philosophy is I don't like to skip pleasure days, but I would say to you, Ronnie, experiment and find out, do it or don't do it, and then just notice the results. So pick one or the other. Whichever one feels right to you. Do the pleasure day, notice what happens. Don't do the pleasure day, notice what happens. And then whichever one you pick, if it works great, keep doing that. And if it doesn't work great for you, doesn't feel good, do the other one. See how that feels, and then build on it. This philosophy, folks, is the philosophy of success because we take so much pressure off ourselves. You don't know what to do. Again, you hear me say this all the time, but the worst phrase in the world is the idea that you're going to, the dieter says, oh, I know what I got to do. I just got to get myself to do it. Not true. You just saw it. I hope you just saw it with the kind bar thing. Like that's to me the perfect example, because if you're like, oh, kind bars are really healthy and you think that they're really healthy, like fruits and vegetables, and you eat them and you're hungry all the time and you're not able to control your eating. You're like, what's going on? I don't understand what's wrong with me, but I know what's in those things. I'm skeptical. I know what those things do to my body and my hunger, my eating, and my moods, all the rest of it. So I know things that dieters don't know. And is that knowledge is what gives me the power to really eat differently and ultimately master my weight. It's not a willpower thing. It's a knowledge thing, So Ronnie, yeah, you play around with it and see what works. And if you all started to do this, and again, we either learn what to do or what not to do. It's that simple. But a lot of you, when you do the wrong thing, you get lost in beating yourself up instead of learning from it. And if you start to learn from everything that happens, the good shit, oh, that worked really well, I'm going to do more of that. The bad shit, oh, what happened there? And we learned something from it. I'm going to avoid that next time, But if we take that mindset, it's really, really helpful, Moses says, I find I eat less calories that way, and then I have enough calories left to eat dessert. Yeah, Moses, that's great. If you if you eat less calories, okay, and you're able to do it consistently. Okay. So again, I'm not saying eat breakfast, don't eat breakfast. Understand? I'm saying best practices for most people is going to be to eat a healthy, nourishing breakfast. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So that's where I would suggest starting with. But if you feel and you have experience that when I don't eat breakfast, I eat a lot less calories throughout the day, great. You know what I mean? That's how we do it then. What's up, Linda? And Linda, I meant to tell you, I put you on the wait list. So I did do that yesterday. Linda said, started slowing down while eating and listening to cues for being full while being on this program. That's super. And that does remind me, because I have it right here. So this is one step before it's done, is my slow eating session. And I will give this to all of you. But it's going to be a hypnosis session, an awake hypnosis session that you listen to while you're eating. Because Linda, you're exactly right. If you can turn that into a habit where you start to eat a bit more slowly, start being a little bit more mindful, listening to your body, being more aware, it will absolutely be one of those core strategies that helps you in every other way. So that's a great job, Linda. Super job. Angie says, appreciate this advice. You're welcome. KT says, the best protein bars I've ever had in my life are Power Crunch at Target. Yeah, sure. Shall we do it? I'll just do it real quick. Okay. And, I'm not picking on you, KT, but this is what I'm saying. And this is a hard part. I think this is a hard part. The blasting through our ignorance, is challenging. Okay. But it is what it is. Let's see. Come on. Give me the ingredients. Give me those ingredients, Power Crunch. Let's just go to Amazon. I guess Amazon, I figured out how to get to it. All right. Power Crunch protein wafer bars. That's not the same thing. Proto whey protein blend, micropeptides, whey protein, milk protein, palm oil. Is palm oil sweet? Does anyone know this? Palm oil. Is it sweet? It's considered savory and earthy. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, not sweet. That's a Power Crunch bar though. Anyways, I'll leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. Oh, hold on a second. Get my fact checker sending me the facts. Oh, there it is. And KT, close your ears if you don't want to hear this. Let's find out though. Yeah, there it is. Proto whey protein. What the shit is that, folks? What's proto whey protein anyways? But it's the same shit, right? Micropeptides from high DH hydrolyzed whey protein. I mean, me personally, like I see those words and I run the opposite direction. Baking soda, monk fruit, ammonium bicarbonate, kernel oil, sugar, canola oil, fructose, soy. Yeah, and again, I'm not arguing that they're not tasty. I'm sure they taste good. I used to like Cliff Bars. I mean, so I went through this myself, everyone, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm not sitting there like some alien who never ate these things. I used to love Cliff Bars, thought they were really healthy. I thought they were for hikers. if hikers like Cliff Bars, they must be healthy, right? And again, they're healthier than other things, but also full of sugar. And that just caused me to crave and it sabotages my eating healthy, Someone says, is starving okay for weight loss? I mean, is it okay? I know you're trolling, but it's a funny thing to talk about because it does prove the point that a lot of people do consider to some degree, so is it okay? Okay is a funny word. Is it helpful? Well, it would be for a little while, I suppose, right? If you stop putting things in here completely, your weight will probably go down, but it's going to be a temporary solution, right? Because at some point you're going to probably have to put something in your mouth and eat something. So yeah, is it okay? Sure, for a little while, I suppose. So if you want to lose some weight for next Friday, what someone was on here the other day, they want to lose they want to They want to lose 10 pounds in 10 days. I think someone hit the nail on the head. I think it's probably maybe school starting, you know what I mean? So yeah, in that case, yeah, just stop putting anything in there, just completely shut it down for a week and go to school looking slim trim and then put the weight on the second or third day. I don't know. Marcy said, side effect of listening to your podcast, I've been brushing my teeth more. I bet. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. I love Kind bars, but I eat mostly barbells, the caramel one. Okay, someone else just said that. Let's do it. Let's do it, folks. I hate to tell you this. We're not going to come up with anything that's even remotely close to a fruit or vegetable. I can already tell you this. I've never heard of a barbell bar, but let's do it. Okay. And I just had on the Power Crunch bar again is that Power Crunch bars have 6 types of sweeteners, a tactic companies use to mask the amount. Again, we know this, right? They split it up. So we'll do a little bit of honey, a little bit of, fructose, a little bit of, whatever. And they call it through, 6 different names, because if you put the 6 things together, it would be like the first ingredient a lot of times. That's a very sneaky trick they do. All right, let's see. What do we got? Come on, give me the good one. All right, here we go. Let's find out what this one is. Here we go with the barbells, or the bear bells. Bear bells? Not barbells. That's a funny name. All right, what do we got? We got, come on, give me the nutritional tab. There it is. Okay, ingredients for bear bells. Milk protein blend. Glycerin is the second ingredient. Okay. Bovine collagen, hydrolysate, maltitol, polydextrose, water, cocoa butter, dry whole milk, roasted cashew, sunflower oil. I'm joking, folks. I'm being an asshole today. I am sorry. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this to you all. If you want to, you know what I mean? Like I'll leave this up to you. But you see, this is a great process. Yeah, we talk about program yourself thin. I think there's almost, never mind the hypnosis sessions I give people in my program. I think there's nothing more programming wise that's going to help you than looking up the ingredients, and when someone might say, I'm going to pick on Jim here for a second. Okay. But if Jim's like, oh man, I love the bear bells. I love milk protein blend. I love calcium caseinate. I love whey protein. I love glycerin. And oh man, my favorite is bovine collagen hydrolysate. I love bovine collagen hydrolysate. And don't forget about maltitol. I love maltitol with a little bit of polydextrose. Like, I'm joking with you, but this is such a good example of hypnosis. Okay. People say, this is why I joke with you guys. When I say, like, people go and say, oh, I don't know if I can be hypnotized, Jim. Motherfucker, look what you're eating that you love so much. Okay. Because the hypnosis is the packaging of the bear bell, the first couple bites of it, the opening it up, the enjoyment of it. The coming out of hypnosis is reading the ingredients and looking them up. Okay, I'm going to do it. Let's go a step further. I've got to know what bovine collagen hydrolysate is. Let's find out. What is bovine hydrolysate? Oh, it's got benefits. Okay. Oh my God, it's sold as a supplement. Oh my goodness gracious. I am not familiar with this world. I'm going to let it go. Okay. But anyways, I find this to be a helpful. Oh, maltitol. Maltitol. Okay. What's maltitol? Maltitol is a laxative. I'm sure. What is it? It's probably a fake. I'm imagining it's a sugar alternative, as I'm guessing. Most talls are like a sugar alternative. Oh Christ. The Bearbell bars, artificial and natural flavorings, excessive consumption may cause a laxative effect due to the maltitol. Yep. Not a lower dose calorie food. You all know, Rachel knew, right? Of course, Rachel, Eat Mostly Plants, is going to know about maltitol. And now I know about it. But again, I don't mean to burst your all bubbles, but this is a very, very powerful way. This is so great. I'm glad this is coming up, because you're seeing firsthand what it feels like to snap yourself out of the trance you're in and then put yourself in a new trance. So you're seeing firsthand the trance that like Jim's in with the bars and the trance that I'm in. We're both in trances, but my trance is every time I hear a protein bar, I'm skeptical. And right to the point, I've done this so many times that I always know it's never going to be that healthy. So it's new to me. I haven't looked these things up, but I'm not surprised. I'm not saying, oh my God, what? Oh my, what? I thought Kind bars were so good. You didn't see that at all, right? I mean, I don't know exactly why it sucks, but we figured it out. But that's the big difference is I'm skeptical of all these foods. I have a very low opinion of pretty much all packaged and processed foods. So I'm coming to everything packaged and processed skeptically. I did not do this 30 years ago. I did not do this 20 years ago. It's been a process of learning. But as you start to truly recognize what you're putting into your body regularly, you're going to recognize why you're never fucking full. You want to know why you're never full? You want to know why you're never full? Because you're eating milk protein blends and maltitol and polydextrose and glycerin and whole milk and unsweetened chocolate and peanut paste. Like, these aren't real foods, folks. They're created by companies that want you to eat their shit over and over and over again. So if you wonder why you can't lose weight and you can't get control of your eating and you're eating this shit thinking it's healthy and that it's going to help satisfy you, it's not. Okay. And so again, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad tidings, but what do you want from me? I take the no bullshit pledge and it extends to these protein bars. I know it upsets some of you, but what am I going to do? Sit here and talk about weight loss? Oh yeah, Bear Bells are great. They're better than Snickers bars. No, they are better than Snickers bars and they're still not great. I wouldn't put that shit in my body. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I wouldn't put that in my body. Why? I'm not thinking about fucking calories. Do you see what I mean? You have to go beyond the calories. I don't want that stuff in my body. What's it doing? What's it doing to my microbiome? What's it doing to me if I'm consistently putting those things in my body? I don't know. Linda says your advice of the first meal being healthy is key, changes the day. Thank you, Linda. Yes, it absolutely does, right? It's really, really important, I think. I always think like and fine, you don't eat breakfast, that's fine too. But the first meal of the day, it's got to be the healthiest one, at least on the clean days. Every day you're building a house with your nutrition, and that house needs to be built on solid foundation. So I think that first meal of the day is just so crucial, so important. But to each his own. Mario says, random, but would you consider a burrata salad healthy with spinach, strawberries, and nuts? I personally would not consider a burrata salad healthy, but I've trend towards vegan. So I have different opinions about dairy. Okay. That being said, I eat burrata occasionally. It's a treat. I like it. Okay. I maybe occasionally, again, it's the spectrum thing. It's a whole food. So I like that piece of it. I'll put that as relatively healthy in my mind. Okay. And if you're not really veganish and you don't have any negative associations with dairy, then I'd move it even closer to healthy for you. Okay. So whole natural ingredients, I'm pretty much I'd put that in front of these bars. I'll put a burrata salad in front of a Bear Bell bar any day of the week. I can tell you that by a mile. I don't mean to pick on you guys, but I'll put the Bear Bell bar here and I'll put the burrata salad here. And then I'll put my salad here. That's the healthiest one. I'm sure there's something healthier beyond my salad too. So, yeah. So I'm in the same boat. Listen, I do this to myself too. So I'm not trying to pick on anyone. Brianna, how's it going, Brianna? Jim was doing so good, healing in all aspects, had the first binge in a while, trying to get back. That's okay, Brianna. It's not a big deal. Again, it's not about getting on a path where you never binge again. You're going to binge again. It's going to happen. It's not a big deal. The key is to get back. And part of getting back on track is realizing that the binges are going to happen. So we're prepared for them. And it's not a big deal when they happen. This is what led to the binge. What happened when it happened? Was I too hungry? Was I emotional and stressed out? Sad, depressed, whatever, emotionally? Or was it just some habit kind of reared its head again? Start to diagnose it. What led to it? And then recognize that's just a part of life. And really the path of mastery is, it's not about getting off track. We're always going to get off track. It's about getting back on track as quickly as we can. And the better you can diagnose it and the more you have installed your habits, the better. All right. And you don't have to change everything to get back on track perfectly. Just start with something small even. And you'll find, even if you start with something small, because you've been working on things, it kind of activates another mindset. One of my favorite yoga quotes is that the hardest posture in the world is to get on your mat. And sometimes when we get off track with our eating, one of the hardest things to do is get back on track. But what a lot of people do, because they think all or nothing, as soon as they get off track, they go, I have to get back to perfect. You do not. All you do is just do one little thing that kind of gets you back on track. Maybe drinking more water, going for a walk, eating an apple, eating a salad, eating a little less at dinner, skipping dessert, whatever, something to get you back on track. And now you say, okay, I'm back on track. Let's start building it up. Okay. So again, not a big deal, Brianna. It's normal and natural. And now this is the key. This is the key to your weight mastery now, is how do I get back on track quickly? Okay. What's up, Karen? Hi, Jim. You're awesome. Well, thank you. Jamamas, love the sound effects. Jim, burrata isn't healthy at all, I think, but in a salad, I guess it's okay. Jim. Yeah, I don't think it's, again, but again, everything's relative. You know what I mean? So to me, I'm not saying that, but it's healthier than a lot of other things, because I will take pretty much anything that's natural. I'm going to put pretty much against anything that's unnatural. So that's kind of a big way I identify foods. Brianna says, on track. Haven't done the program fully yet because I'm avoidant, to be honest. Yeah, Brianna, don't be that way, because this program is not an all or nothing program. It's just about popping in and listening to anything. Like, for example, you could go into the daily sessions and just one that just catches your attention, just listen to that. You know what I mean? Like, you just see the littlest thing. And it's not, that's exactly what I was trying to tell you. It's not like, oh, I got to jump into the program perfect again. It's not that. It's like, can I just jump in doing something? And that might be listening to a 5-minute hypnosis session, watching a 10-minute video, watching a TikTok. It doesn't matter. Just one little thing. Because I get that avoidant thing, but that avoidant thing really comes out of an all or nothing mindset typically, where it's like you got off track and now you feel like, okay, I got to get right back, all the way back on track to do it, and you don't. Just a little bit will help you out a lot of times. Marcy said, did Pavlov get the urge to feed his dogs every time he heard a bell? Hey, that's a good one, Marcy. I like that, right? Yeah, it works that way too. That's funny. I never thought about that. It's so good. All right, let me see here. I know TikTok, I don't want to miss anyone's questions. Let's see here. I missed a lot of questions. Okay, I'm going to get to them now. All right, here we go. Mario said, yeah, I misspoke. I definitely meant just imagining myself eating normal amount of food. Oh, very good, Mario. And I just used that as an opportunity. I was surprised that you would say that, but very good. Nothing wrong with misspeaking. I'm torn between ordering dessert or not, though. Scared it might trigger a binge later. Mario, order dessert. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if you want to order dessert, imagine yourself ordering dessert and then feeling really happy with it and satisfied and just following your plan right after that. Okay. Don't start being scared, because scared is negative programming, negative rehearsals. All right. And it says definitely a gradual process for changing your mindset. It is. Of course it is. It's like learning the piano. It's a gradual process. Learning how to dance, gradual. Learning how to draw, it's gradual. Every learning process is gradual, folks. There's no shortcuts to learning, not real learning anyways. Moses says, I want to start slowly with intermittent fasting, and currently I'm at 9 hours only. Would going to 14 the next day be extreme? I don't know. Test it out, Moses. I don't know. You're going to do what you're going to do anyways, Moses. So just go right to 14 hours and see how it is. We'll talk about it. Mario says it's filtering comments. Yeah, that's really crazy. And you know what I realized is that's not even my option. So I don't mind if people get on here and say, you're a fucking asshole, Jim. But it turns out if you say weight related, eating related things, that it's filtering it. And I read about that, but I guess it's real. Karen says, what about muscle milk? 40 grams of protein. Again, I'm not going to do it because I want to get through the comments, but muscle milk, I'm not interested in, but to each their own, you know what I mean? I'd rather have protein in more natural sources, but anyways, and I'm not a baby cow. So it's like, I have negative associations to milk more so than the average American. So I'm aware of that. And so if you don't have those opinions, then we'll talk about it another day. User 319 says, I drink a ton of water, like minimum 66 liters a day. Holy shit. But I'm still so hungry, even with a high protein diet. User 319, what I'd start focusing on is eating more whole natural foods, vegetables, high protein diet. I think it's protein is certainly satiating. There's no question that protein satisfies you. But the thing that satisfies you, I believe even more, if not, if it's not more, it's at least as much, but I think it's more, is fiber. Fiber from fruits and vegetables is the most satiating thing that you can put in your body. So all you high protein people, you're really sleeping on putting whole natural foods in your body. And that's the most, it's the most satiating thing. And so I'll leave it with that. Yeah, the water's not going to overcome a lack of micronutrients. This is probably what you're getting on the protein diet, and you're getting a lack of fiber. Jim says, me too, Mario. I was saying that growing up, I was always compared to my thin brother, and it got deleted. Oh, interesting. Hate being compared so much. Yeah, Jim. Well, Jim, to that point, the bigger issue with that, if you got the thin brother and you're the heavy brother, is that becomes more of a self-image thing. Okay. And so, you've developed at this point the identity as being the overweight one. And one of the hardest things in the world to do is to change that self-image, that identity, but that's such a crucial part. That's why I'm programming myself thin right after motivation. We get into the self-image piece, simply because it's such a foundational piece. We always live up or down to our self-image. So that's a really important piece of information, Jim, that you got to deal with. Jim says, did your brother also follow the same lifestyle as you? No. He does his own thing. So, but it's not what I do. Karen says, chicory root fiber will give you the worst gas ever. I believe that. Can't you have honey? Yeah, I think honey's all right. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't shit talking honey. I was just saying that's a sneaky way to say sugar. And so, and there's different types of honey. There's more processed manipulated honeys and there's more natural honeys. And again, always a spectrum. So yeah, I would prefer to have the raw, unfiltered honey. And I would watch it with honey, even with honey. And I know that might be a little bit, I don't know enough about honey. Maybe it's great for you. Maybe it's the worst thing for you. I consume a little bit of honey here and there in its natural raw state. But honey in protein bars as an ingredient, I'm leery of, because it's another form of sugar, and it's not the honey that I'm eating probably from beehives. Mario says, yikes, I like protein bars so much. I guess I can just eat a regular chocolate bar at this point. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're better than chocolate bars, but yeah, again, because I can't tell you, this is probably, I would say most recently, this is probably one of the biggest areas of ignorance where people that are very smart and very well read on nutrition think that protein bars are healthy, and they're not. They're triggering more cravings and overeating and hunger, and so if you don't know that, it's such a bummer, because you're like, well, I'm doing everything right, I'm eating my protein bars, I'm eating healthy, but you're not, and so I know it can be a hard pill to swallow, I understand that, but it's a necessary one, because otherwise you're living in ignorance. You can't see things for what they are, All right, it says, I was eating those grenade bars with 1 gram of sugar and thought, yes, I'm a health nut. Not quite. What do you eat on the road? We travel a lot. Yeah, listen, hey, eating on the road is a big challenge. Traveling is a big challenge. So I want to be crystal clear about that. So the first thing I do is like, okay, when I'm at home in my normal scenario, I have one set of expectations. When I travel, I have a different set of expectations initially. And, I don't travel a lot, so I don't have a lot of strategies myself, but I've worked with a lot of people that travel a lot. And so it depends on your travel. I mean, airplane travel, car travel, that's the first one. Sleeping over places for nights, all the rest of it. But suggestions would go from, traveling in a car all day and then going home, a cooler, bringing stuff with you, preparing things and bringing it with you is number one. If you're traveling on a plane to places, staying at hotels a couple nights in a different place, I like to prepare by researching where's the healthy, where's a co-op, where's a Whole Foods near me, where are some healthy restaurants. So I kind of prepare myself, where are some healthier foods here. In that situation, I may rely on kind bars in there, you know what I mean? Like to just manage the hunger. So again, it really depends on the type of travel you're going to be doing, but yeah, you do have to come up with specific strategies for that, because that is, a challenge for sure. Zoya says, some people can lose weight eating garbage, but being thin shouldn't be a goal over being healthy. I lost 30 pounds eating chicken nuggets for 2 years, but had the worst health. Yeah, fair enough. I agree 1,000%. I always say this, take your weight loss rapid in personal development. This is way more to me than just weighing something. It's really about being the alive, awesome version of yourself you want to be. And I think that's really important. So yeah, I definitely agree that you can absolutely eat a bunch of shit and lose weight. But for me, my goal is I want to feel, how fucking amazing can I feel? And that's the journey I'm on. And it is amazing. The last couple of months has been a big jump for me. We had the farm share thing we do. So we're getting fresh fruits and vegetables, mostly vegetables, from a local organic farm. And so they're higher quality foods. I'm getting them quicker from when they're picked, and eating them is just crank things up another level. So I don't know. It's just that to me is the path I'm on, So listen, when it comes to the weight, at some point, the weight loss is just a phase, folks. It's going to take you a couple months or a couple years to get to your goal weight. Okay. And then what are you going to focus on? What are you going to do then? What are you going to look forward to? You need to look forward to something. This is why 95% of dieters put the weight back on. There's nothing to look forward to then. You lost the weight. Now you can't look forward to the food. Can't look forward to the weight loss. What are you going to focus on? Well, what I focus on is I just keep wondering how much better I can feel. How much cleaner can my eating get? How much energized can I feel? How much more nutrients can I put in my body? And it's always like, I just keep thinking the next 100 years, I'm like, how much better can I feel? And I think that's an important piece of the whole thing. Jim says, can you define what you mean when you said get the most pleasure out of food? Isn't it just eating until you're super full? Jim, I appreciate you for saying these things out loud. Because I know a lot of people are thinking what you're saying as well. No, in this culture, you've been conditioned to think that the most pleasure you can get out of food is how the most amount of it you can stuff in your face. How the fuck can that be the truth, though? You tell me, Jim, what would give you more pleasure from food? To eat your favorite food, being overweight and out of control with your eating and feeling like shit about your weight, your body, and your health and who you are as a person, but eating the shit out of whatever ice cream, whatever you like the most, or eating that food at your goal weight when you know how to eat moderately and be right back in control of your weight? Which one is more pleasurable to you overall? And this is where I think I'm so glad you asked this, because I think this is a core limiting belief, mistaken belief most people are walking around with. And this is a big reason why we have the pleasure days, is because you all think that the most pleasure you can get out of food is dictated by the quantity they can put into your body. I do not believe that. I believe because people say, oh, Jim, I can never eat like you. I love food too much. I bet I love food just as much as you. And I bet I get more pleasure out of it because I don't give a shit. Yeah, you think like eating it is so great, but if you really paid attention, right below that eating it, and you're not aware of it, but right below when you're eating the ice cream, eating the shit that you know is bringing you overweight, there's a level of anxiety and stress and depression and frustration and anger. It's right there. It is. When I'm eating ice cream, cookies, whatever, there's none of that. There's not a drop of that. I eat it. I feel great. Maybe I feel a little full afterwards, or a little lethargic afterwards, but I'm not worried about my weight. I'm not worried about me. I'm not worried about getting back on track. I don't feel guilty. There's no shame, none of that. So how can the most pleasurable thing be as much as I eat? Because how do you feel? Because what you're doing is you're just thinking about the consumption phase, and you're just completely just ignoring the consequence phase. When you feel super full, how do you feel? As soon as you eat to the point you're super full, 6 seconds after you take that last bite and you're super full, is that pleasurable? The next 10 hours, is that a state of pleasure you're all in? As soon as you take that last bite, does that kickstart the pleasure phase for you? Is that pleasurable? You'd have to tell me. Again, I'm not telling you what's pleasurable or not for you, but if you think of it that way, I love eating everything. Mario, I'm a big back. Yep. He just said, I appreciate your insight. You're welcome. Hello, Tay says, start your day with protein. Yeah, start your day with protein, but start your day with nutrition. Okay. I'd start my day with a little bit of fiber, some protein. Sure. Okay. But not just fucking protein. This protein thing. Listen, folks, you know what one of the biggest profit centers in the food industry is? It's the meat industry. Do you think that might have anything to do with the fact that you're so fucking obsessed with protein? I can tell you as a vegetarian, the number one question I've gotten asked over the 25 years of a vegetarian is, how do you get your protein? How do you get protein? People are so worried about protein consumption. And the irony is, when is the last time you ever had a protein test? You ever had a protein test? Your doctor ever test your protein level? We're so worried about it. Why aren't we ever tested? Have you ever gotten tested for a protein level? You ever known anyone's protein deficient? And yet you're so worried about it. Do you think there might be a reason for that? It's called marketing. So again, protein's important. I'm not saying protein's not important. It is. But fiber is the bigger, more important thing. And real natural fiber from whole food sources. Okay? And he says, yep, GLP-1 saving my ass. Sure. GLP-1 is really important. But again, there's artificial GLP-1 that you inject, and there's natural GLP-1 hormone that your body produces when you eat more whole natural foods and healthy proteins. Someone says, can I get Ozempic without having diabetes and at normal weight? Yeah, I'm sure. It's you don't want Ozempic though. Ozempic is the medicine. Ozempic and Wegovy are the same thing, but Ozempic's marketed towards diabetics and Wegovy's marketed towards people that want to lose weight. And so I can guarantee you it would not be hard to find a doctor that'll give you a prescription for Wegovy, even if you're at normal weight, because that's the world we live in. Brianna says, every time I restrict, I focus on calories, I binge, and I retract all my progress. So frustrated. Well, don't be frustrated, Brianna. Just realize that and stop restricting. That's what I was talking about. When you start to diagnose the pattern that you keep repeating, learn from it and stop restricting. And that's harder than it sounds, but that's the focus for you. Don't restrict. You get impatient, you get in diet mode, and you start restricting, and that kickstarts the cycle. And so start realizing that, and start realizing that it's about staying calm when the weight's not coming off as fast as you want. Stay relaxed and calm. Okay. And don't over restrict like you typically do. And then you can prevent and avoid the cycle. Right. World you want to live in, girl. I have a friend that didn't lose anything for 3 months, but then it dropped off. Yes. Thank you for saying that. I'm really glad you said that. Because that is how it works. And it doesn't make any logical sense. I've never seen it explained scientifically in any satisfying way, but I always see that. I see that regularly, that people don't lose weight, don't lose weight, don't lose weight, don't lose weight. And then it starts coming off. I don't know why. It makes no sense to me, but I see it all the time too. So what can I tell you? Marcy said, I walked past an AA's pretzel the other day. First time I've ever resisted that place. Yeah, great job, Marcy. I'm proud of you. And it just gets easier and easier as you keep moving, which isn't to say one day you might go and didn't get it, but that's fine too. Because even if you go and get it one day, you still now have all the neural wiring of walking past it. That's why I say it's not the all or nothing thing. You don't just live in streaks. Every time you do good for a little while, you're developing neural pathways and, networks. And so even if you flip back to the old one, it's fine. You still have the start, at least, of a developed network. And we just go back to it and start developing it more. Hope that makes sense. Mars said, I heard your voice in my head and kept on walking. Yes, I do become a surrogate voice for my client. Absolutely. And it says, thank you for looking into the kind bars. You're welcome. Yeah, that was kind of fun, actually. I haven't done that before. Just funny. That was really funny. I was not expecting to do that. So it was interesting. Caitlin says, down 65 pounds over the last year and a half today. Your emails and TikToks have helped so much. Wow. Caitlin, super proud of you. Let's take a screenshot of that. That is super impressive. 65 pounds is a very great accomplishment. Wonderful. And I'm hoping you did it in a sustainable way so that this is the beginning, so you can stay there forever. Great job. Super proud of you. What do you eat for breakfast? I basically have two types of breakfast. I'm a clean eating breakfast, my pleasure day breakfast. My clean eating breakfast typically is Ezekiel bread, natural peanut butter, an apple, natural peanut butter, and a bunch of water. That's typically my breakfast on clean days. On my pleasure days, typically breakfast will be kind of a high quality bagel. I get them from New York. 2 eggs, some avocado, some cheese, some salsa. And that's typically a breakfast there. Maybe I'll have a banana with peanut butter. Maybe I'll have a donut or croissant, something like that. So that's typical for those days. Jim says, grenade salted caramel is pretty healthy ingredients, I've heard. I love them, man. Oh, Jim, you know how to. Let's do it. Let's do it, Jim. If you heard they're healthy, Jim, I don't know why. Don't take offense to this anyway. I know Jim and he can take this. But why, Jim, you would ever assume or believe anything that you think or thought you heard, I cannot imagine at this point. Just to be honest with you. Because you kind of are usually wrong. But let's find out. Maybe you finally hit what do they say? A broken clock's right twice a day at least. Busting your chops, Jim, but you can take it, right? You like that. Let's find out. What do we got? Grenade carb. Oh, the grenade carb killer. Let's do it. Ingredients: milk, chocolate with sweetener, maltitol. Don't eat too many of them, Jim. You poop your pants. Cocoa butter, whole milk powder, cocoa mass, emulsifier, lecithins, a protein blend, humectant. Don't know what that is. Glycerol, bovine collagen hydrolysate, chocolate chips, water, dietary fiber, polydextrose, palm fat. Yeah. We got different definitions of healthy, but I'm not knocking you loving them. I know you love them, but not sure if I'd agree with the healthy part, Jim. But what do you want? Palm oil is inflammatory. I believe that. Palm oil is a substitute for artificially hydrogenated oil. I'm glad you said that, because one of the things they do, it's I don't know if you call it greenwashing. I forget the exact word for it, health washing, whatever the labels is. What they like to do is take something that sounds like artificially hydrogenated oil, and instead of having that as an ingredient that your eyes pick up, oh my God, it sounds terrible. Palm oil sounds a lot better. It sounds more natural. So they do this all the time. So yeah, not surprised by that. Don says, seriously, stop eating the bars. Kathleen says, are there any healthy bars out there that you would recommend? Yeah, it's called a banana, an apple, a pear, a peach, a plum, grapes, cherries, celery, carrots. That's what I recommend. What do you want? KT sells that. I'm still going to eat them. Very low sugar, 12 grams protein, feeds my sweet treat need. Fair good. KT, listen, I'm not saying don't eat them, okay? Because I want to make clear everything's a spectrum. And so if you use protein bars to stop yourself from binging on Ben & Jerry's ice cream, then that's a great strategy, okay? I'm just making the point that those bars, they serve a purpose in one sense, but there's things that serve a much greater purpose for you, and that's whole natural foods. You've been conditioned to think of a protein bar as almost a health food. It's not a health food. It's a healthier food than what you may use for your sweet treat. Again, it's healthier than a chocolate bar. So I want to make that crystal clear. The process of programming yourself thin is getting 1% better each and every day. So I'm not saying stop eating your protein bars and eat just fruits and vegetables, but I am saying it out loud because you never hear that message. Everything's relative, and you think in a relative term. And so when you think of healthy food, you're really thinking about processed healthy food. And so the reason you're thinking protein bars are healthy is because you're thinking in the context of processed food, and you really are comparing it to candy bars, candy, bags of chips, all the shit in the convenience store. And if you look at a convenience store, the protein bars are probably the healthiest thing, but they're healthier by that much. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And it's important to have that scale and that relative sense in your mind if you're really going to master your weight, So yeah, I'm not saying don't do them. I'm saying that they serve a purpose, but again, we need to put it in context, Linda says the only bars I've found that are clean are Lara bars, but they don't have protein. Okay, real quick. I know Lara bars too, and they're the whole natural ingredient thing. My issue with Lara bars just off the bat is they're so sweet that I don't like that. So again, I would rather have my natural ingredients in their natural food matrix, So again, not saying I wouldn't eat those. I have, and again, Lara bars would be my go-to out of everything, but everything being said, and again, here we go. So out of everything, I would say these are the healthiest ones is dates, peanuts, semi-sweet chocolate chips, sugar, cocoa butter, vanilla extract, sea salt. So again, way healthier. Okay. But dates are super sweet. Again, they're again, I don't want to seem like a nut job here, but again, what those Lara bars are going to do in a pinch, I'll pick a Lara bar over all of them. It's kind of Kind Bar. It's Lara bar and then Kind Bar are kind of the two I would gravitate towards in a pinch. And Cliff bars, I just like them. I know they're not that great, but again, I just want to compare all these to whole natural foods, and again, I'm not saying never eat a protein bar. What I'm saying is if you eat a protein bar 6 days a week after lunch, maybe 2 days a week, you have some fruit. That's what I'm saying more, and who knows what that might do for you, Jim said, oh my God, how dare you look all this up. You're truly insane. I don't even crave them anymore. Well, that's what happens again. And you got the truth on your side, folks. We've all been bullshitted to think that fucking gross foods are delicious and we love them. That to me is the core of mastering your weight in 2024. It's to realize we live in bizarro world where we've all been raised by corporations that have convinced us and tricked us and conditioned us to think that disgusting shit is absolutely delicious. And I'm sitting here to tell you it's not. It's not. It feels like it is, but it's a trick. It's a trick. Yeah. Shireen says, I love my skinny dip chocolate, dark chocolate peanut butter cups. Yeah. 2 grams of sugar. Again, it's always improvements. It's not perfection. It's improvements. Can't say that enough. Linda says the hardest part so far about the program for me is quieting my brain for the hypnosis sessions. Linda, I totally get that. And understand that's part of the process. You're getting good at it. When you listen to those hypnosis sessions in my program, you're not just being hypnotized, you're getting good at a skill. You're learning to relax more. You're learning to quiet your mind down more. You're learning to become more aware of subtle cues inside of your body and mind. So you're practicing those things, every time you listen to a hypnosis session. So understand that that is the process, and, but I think when you approach it that way, it's a lot better than saying, oh, is something wrong with me? I can't be hypnotized. No, it's a process. You're learning to relax, learning to quiet your mind, learning to become more aware of these internal cues and your internal dialogue, so great job. It is harder for a lot of people, and just stick with it because you'll get better at it, just like anything else. And once you're better at it, now you're on a completely different level than you've ever been, KT says, I admire you because this is doing nothing to make me want to eat them less. I'm a lost cause. You're not, KT. Again, it doesn't matter. The ingredient thing affects some people and it doesn't affect others, so everyone's got their own kind of programming you have to kind of get for them to get the results they want, Yeah, it is okay to eat them in moderation. Again, so I want to make that crystal clear, KT. It's not a big deal if you keep eating them. Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, KT said, yeah, I'm going to be honest about my own BS for sure. And that I will tell you, I don't know if you're going to end up joining the program, KT, but even on here, if you show up here, the more open and honest you are with me, but again, you're always open and honest with yourself first, but then with me, the faster I can help you change, because I believe truly that the process of programming ourselves thin goes through the process of recognizing and resolving our own bullshit. We bullshit ourselves all the time. And so to me, the process of change is recognizing the bullshit we say to ourselves and resolving it. And it's just a process. So I appreciate that, KT. There's no right or wrongs here. Brandon says, thank you, Jim. Brought tears to my eyes. I probably won't see your response as I'm at work, but going to try to get back in the program. Hopefully still available. Going to take it slow. And of course it's available. If you ever get the program, folks, it's lifetime access to it. I just want y'all to know that. And I update it all the time. You get access to all of that forever. Okay. So I just want y'all to know that. I know some people ask me that. And Jesus, TikTok has got to stop with all the notifications because I can't even get to the questions here. Viveka says, I would like to lose weight, but my mind is the worst ever. Just get takeaways. Yeah, I mean, everyone's mind is, you know what I mean? Everyone's mind is their ground. It's the whole story. It is your mindset, so as you improve your mindset, you improve your weight. So I get it, Viveka. What I would suggest, and I haven't mentioned this the whole time, I'm the worst marketer on the planet, I swear. But it's like, go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, get the hypnosis session. I'll give you, it's free. And watch the video I made though, mostly. And so Viveka, if you're concerned about your mindset, watch that video. I think it's one of the more insightful videos in terms of your mindset and weight. And you can go check those out for free. And then read the emails I send you because it'll help you with all that. Jim says, I'm genuinely believe I'm addicted to food. I mean, maybe you folks, maybe Jim, you are addicted to food, but you're addicted to food because you're eating addictive foods though, too. Do you know what I mean? That's like someone being like, oh, I'm addicted to white powder up my nose. And it's like, well, yeah, it's addictive stuff, So if you change what food you're eating, it does kind of change. Jim says, I'd love to eat like a pig and be thin, but I see your point for sure. I would trade eating so much food for my dream body. Ah, exactly, Jim. And that's the reality we live in. Program yourself. And it's exactly that. What most diets do is they say, okay, here's the pleasure of the food. And what we're going to do on the diet is we're going to restrict your pleasure so that someday you can get more pleasure. And your mind says, fuck that. I'd rather have the pleasure that I know for sure now. Okay. And program yourself in, what we do is we say, I know there's pleasure of food, no doubt about it, but what's more pleasurable? And I would suggest, and this is the litmus test, whether program yourself in is a solution for you or not, is there something more pleasurable than the most delicious food you can think of? And what that pleasure is being the person you want to be at the weight you want to be for the rest of your life. And if you can think about that, not just what you want to look like, but who you want to be. Okay. So it's not just what you look like, but it's having energy. It's being clear-minded. It's being calm and balanced emotionally. It's being more positive mood-wise. It is feeling more optimistic and hopeful about the future. It's feeling more energetic and vibrant. It's feeling Like I got a system to really thrive for the rest of my life. It's being at the goal weight I want to be. So I do look the way I want to look. So I can communicate that I want to be. I can track the people I want to attract into my life. And as you start focusing on that goal, is that when you imagine it, is that more pleasurable than the food that you imagine? Which another way to put it, I make videos about this all the time, but if I was a magic genie and I appeared right in front of me, I said, listen, you have one of two wishes. You can either have the most delicious meal you've ever had in your life, or you can wake up tomorrow morning at your goal weight. Which would you pick? Now, most people are going to pick the goal weight because it's infinitely more pleasurable and lasting than that momentary pleasure of the food. And so you've got the truth on your side. The problem is that you have no one reinforcing this message in your mind. You have the opposite. You have literally thousands and thousands of ads every single day reinforcing the message that food's the most pleasurable thing in the world. I don't believe that. But you may agree with me right now, but the problem is as soon as you leave here, you have nothing reinforcing the fact that living at your goal weight, being the ideal version of you, is infinitely more pleasurable than any momentary pleasure of any food that you can think of. And so again, that's the process of reinforcing that, and changes everything. Myra says, have you been to Erewhon? Do you think their food is actually healthy? I feel like most of it isn't. I don't know. I don't know what Erewhon is, so I've never been there. Let's look it up real quick. Erewhon. We believe that nutrition is the key to a radiant lifestyle. All right, well, that sounds good. Oh, it looks good. I see a lot of fruits and vegetables. Let's see. Delivery, pickup, catering, membership. I mean, it looks good. I'm just taking first dibs at it. It looks like whole natural foodish to me. I see fruits and vegetables. That's always a good sign, but I don't really know. So it seems like a place where you could probably order healthier and not less healthy things, but overall it seems pretty healthy. So take that for what it's worth. Blue Run Vintage, how's it going? I used to eat Built bars because a dietitian told me to eat 150 grams of protein a day, and I'm not a big meat eater. I don't miss them. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing with the protein bars. I find a lot of nutritionists and dietitians will recommend these because everyone's so obsessed with protein. But again, they're obsessed with protein because it's one of the more satiating things, no doubt. But fiber is more satiating, and it comes in a lower calorie content package typically that proves and provides other benefits as well. When you eat foods in their natural whole food matrix, it does extra benefits for you that support you. So, Yvette Saint says, what do I do if I keep overeating on pleasure days? You take a step back and you reflect on it. What led to the overeating? It's not a big deal to overeat for a little while on the pleasure days, but we want to start to keep looking at it and saying, okay, how do I need to show up differently to eat better? What strategies do I need to eat better? And so again, the way we're looking at it is, okay, I'm going to keep improving my pleasure days. So it's not the question of it's not so much like, what do I do if I keep overeating? Why do I keep overeating? It becomes, how can I eat better on my pleasure days? And when you ask that question, it's saying, okay, what happened this pleasure day? It was okay, but I ate too much there. And we go, okay, what if I go back in time, knowing what I know now, what could I have done differently to have eaten better there? That's such a core part of the Program Yourself Thin part, is that it's the redo rehearsal technique. And so we're consistently using the redo technique on it. So I don't know if you're in the program or not, but if you're in the program, we do the redo technique on the pleasure days and we learn from it. And so whether you have a perfect pleasure day or an overeating pleasure day, you're still learning from it and you're better the next pleasure day. So it's that attitude. Mara said, "How you're making so much fun of him." I am, but Jim says, "I feel stupid." Don't feel stupid. You can feel stupid nutritionally. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with realizing you're ignorant with something. I'm ignorant of all sorts of things, and I was absolutely ignorant with nutrition. You accept that. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world, because acknowledging that and realizing that's great, because now you can fix it. The worst part is, oh, I know everything about nutrition. Oh, I heard those are healthy, and I know those are healthy. That's why I say to you, Jim, I say this with love, you know that, but it's like, you cannot trust your intuitions, Jim. Your intuitions are just totally backwards. Most of you people have wrong intuitions. What do you want from me? I had wrong intuitions. I'm not some, you know what I mean? I wasn't born knowing all this shit. I had wrong intuitions. I had to learn it, but it's the most valuable learning I've ever had in my life, because now I can weigh what I want, be the person I want to be. So don't take it personally, Yeah, Don says that. No, it's just about researching. Absolutely. Melody says, gain 10 pounds on insulin. That's interesting. That's interesting. I know what that's all about. I'd love to know more about that. That's a unique thing. Almost says Quest bar. This one has 21 grams of protein. I saw having a lot of protein in my breakfast, lunch, and dinner and lost a lot of weight. And I'm not sure what that says. Wow, I will need that for me. Yeah, Quest bars. I'm not going to do it, but again, I'm definitely not denying. I'm not arguing that those bars have a lot of protein in them. By the way, I just want to make that crystal clear. What's up, Lorena? How's it going? Long time no see. Almost says I'm going to go and get it and check the video. Yeah, everyone, if you guys aren't in my, like, if you haven't gone to my bio, click the link at the hypnosis session, get in my world. You're really missing out. I mean, get in there. You think, oh, this guy's an asshole. Just unsubscribe. You're done with it. But it's like, I give you more free stuff than pretty much anyone. You know what I mean? Like, so that hypnosis, if you've never done hypnosis, I'm one of the highest paid hypnotists on the planet. It's 25 grand to work, man. I'm literally, it's $2,500 a session. Okay. So, I know what I'm talking about. I'm just giving you a free hypnosis session. And so I would listen to it if I were you. If you're serious, if you're remotely interested in losing weight, I'd listen to that session. And then I would absolutely watch the video I made you. The video just explains things that you probably don't know and haven't thought about. And it's really, really, really helpful. So any of you that haven't done that, I don't know what you're doing. And then I email you every day, great stuff. So absolutely check the video out. KT says, if we join the regular program, how long do we get in the weekly meetings with you? Is it 8 weeks only? Yeah, 8 weeks, access to those. Linda says, in 2 weeks, I go back to work. What am I going to do without my 12 p.m. lives with you? Well, Linda, remember, you can also, the podcast is recorded audio wise, on YouTube. The videos are recorded, so you can check those out. The, Facebook group, I'm kind of in the middle of getting that going. So I apologize for anyone that requested that. I got to work on it. I just want to make sure it's right before I open it up. But I'm going to put the video replays in there as well. So I'll still be here for you. They just won't be on the lives. Oh, I'm a teacher. Okay. Yeah. Back to school. All right. Yeah. And then Linda too, you're in the program. So you can always email me questions as well. And I'll answer those on the lives. Yeah. Listen every day this summer. That's awesome. That's a great way to do the summer. Please give tips for overeating. I'll give you this a simple one because I got to get out of here. But I think the biggest tip for overeating is to manage your hunger better. I feel like one of the biggest triggers for overeating is getting yourself too hungry and then overeating, and or getting too emotional and then not being able to control your eating. So it's not so much about how to not overeat as it is how do I prevent overeating, which is more about how do I prevent getting too hungry? How do I prevent getting too emotional? And I think because the overeating is typically a symptom of a deeper problem, usually. And so when you start to understand the main triggers of overeating, which are usually I'm too hungry, I'm too emotional, it's just a habit pattern I have. And you start to really analyze those three things and look for how do I prevent that? That usually is a better way to, deal with the overeating. So that's my suggestion. Almost says, how many protein we need our body? I'm 144. I don't really know. I'm not a protein. I don't really give like that sort of information because every person is different. So I couldn't sit here and tell you how much protein you need. Lorena says, can you please tell me how long ago you started live today? Trying to figure out what time it is in. Yeah, in Estonia. Here is 9 p.m. right now. Yeah, so Lorena, usually I start around 7 p.m. your time. I usually start right around noon. I was a little bit late today, though. Cool. All right. Alma says, I lost weight. I was size 16, went to size 6. Now I went back to 7. Oh, okay. Great job, Alma. That's super. So again, dial it in though now, right? That's the hard part is the maintenance for most dieters because they do extreme things to lose the weight and then they can't sustain it. So really get your mind wrapped around it. And definitely, please go watch the video I'm talking about because everything I talk about here is weight mastery. The difference between weight loss and weight mastery. Weight loss is about getting to your goal weight. Weight mastery is about living at your goal weight. So you're absolutely listen to what I'm saying real quick because there's very few people that really talk about, weight mastery, living at your goal weight. And it's really important for you because I don't want you to put the weight back on. You've done all this work to keep it off or get it off. But now you got to shift gears. Maintenance is different. So I can help you with that, but go watch the video. All right. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. It's been awesome. This was a lot of fun today. Actually, this was a really fun one. So I hope y'all learned a lot and, sorry if I kind of threw you off bars at all. But again, it was valuable. So thank you so much for listening. If you're not in my world, please go to my bio, click the link at the hypnosis session, watch the video I made for you, read the emails I send you every day. If you're on my email list already and you're considering the Program Yourself Thin Bootcamp, that registration opens up for that tomorrow at noon. I will let you know if you're considering the program, get on the wait list, just to make sure you get a spot if you want one. But B, maybe even more importantly, is there are some fast action bonuses that are killer. Okay. And you are not going to want to miss them. If you want to do the program, you absolutely want to get on the fast action bonuses. They're real good. So make sure if you are interested in that, you can go to the email I send out this morning, and at the bottom is a wait list. You can click on that, and you'll get the registration link a couple days before everyone else. So it'll pretty much guarantee that if you want to do the program, you'll get it, and you will get the bonuses that go along with it. So there's that. And again, the podcast is Program Yourself Thin. We do this every day, usually around noon Eastern time. So you can get on here and ask questions if you have any. And then if you miss it, you can listen to the podcast on all the podcast platforms. It's Program Yourself Thin. And then follow me. If you are on here, just kind of stumbled on here and you like what I'm saying, follow me, and then you'll be notified when I go live, and you'll get to know when new videos come out. So, all right, everyone, thank you so much. Have a super day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.